5 copywriting tips to convert more visitors into customers. Few businesses fully recognize the power of good writing. A well-written sales script is very often the difference between a conversion rate of 10% and a conversion rate of 0.0001%. This is your opportunity to convince people to buy from you, to explain to them why your product or service matters, and to hold their attention. How do you do it? Here are 5 strategies that make a big difference. Be clear and to the point. Vantage Media uses innovative thought leadership and a collaborative attitude to push forward into new frontiers. We provide cloud-based solutions for small to medium businesses that want to see real change in their strategy and mindset. What's wrong with this opening? Simple. It doesn't tell the audience what they need to know. Specifically, what your business does and why they should care. Too often we get caught up trying to sound professional or show off and fill our content with jargon and nonsense. In the worst case scenarios, you can come away from a homepage none the wiser as to what the business is actually offering or what it does. Good sales copy and copywriting in general doesn't deal in flowery language, but rather communicates clearly what the business does. And it gets there quickly. Use storytelling. Storytelling is SEO for the human brain. We are hardwired to respond well to stories. They engage us and keep us reading, and they motivate, inspire, and influence us. If you want to make sure that people don't leave your sales pitch halfway through, then find ways to relate to it personally and use a narrative around it. Use split testing. A split test means creating 2 slightly different versions of your copy to see which one sells best. This way, you can test different headers, different opening lines, etc. This allows you to see what is actually working rather than be led by subjective opinions. Add social proof. Including stats, figures, and quotes can make a big difference to your sales. Not only does this back up what you're saying and give you much more credibility, but it also creates social influence. People think that this is now what everyone is doing. And when everyone is doing something, we always want to get involved right away. Find the value proposition. Most important of all is to find the value proposition. That means understanding what it is about your product that is going to drive sales. This should mean finding the emotional hook and getting your audience to imagine how their life could be better as a result of buying from you. You aren't selling a fitness book. You're selling an amazing, ripped body. You aren't selling an app that handles website design. You're selling a more beautiful, modern, and efficient website. You're selling the dream of a successful business. You need to understand this because it is ultimately emotion that drives us, not logic. So get your audience excited for the future you are offering. 5 easy upgrades you can offer customers to maximize your profits. Selling online can be a challenge, and this is something that many business owners must wrestle with on a regular basis. If you can convince people to buy from you online, then you can potentially drive a steady stream of sales that will be nearly entirely automated. This allows you to earn a passive income and make money while you sleep and relax. Or it can give you the funds you need to funnel back into your business and scale at an unprecedented rate. But this shouldn't be the end goal. Selling once is impressive, but selling twice or selling more is even better. What you may not realize is that getting someone to buy from you is the hard part. The biggest barrier is opening the wallet and entering the details. If you get your visitor to that point, then you've been highly successful. But then why stop there? It will now be considerably easier to convince your audience to take the next step and buy again, so make sure you don't miss that opportunity. Here's how you can do just that by offering upgrades and upsells. Premium Edition. One option is to offer a premium edition or a special edition. People love buying the most high-quality version of something, and they hate knowing that there is a more premium option available. Think about it. If you just convince someone to buy a product for $50, why wouldn't they pay an extra $10 to then upgrade that to the ultimate edition? This works great for physical products, but it can also be very effective with digital products. Your ebook could come with a more attractive cover, extra pages, and supplementary information, for example. Support. Offering support is a great way to add value, especially if your product is an app or software solution. Even for information products, though, offering some kind of direct access to the author or experts can be huge. How about membership of an exclusive group on Facebook, for example? Second copy. If your product benefits from multiple items, then this is a great and very simple way to upsell. Buy 1 for $20 or 2 for $30. It's a no-brainer. Even for digital products, this can work well if you have DRM. Just offer the second download as a gift. Subscription. Likewise, if your product is something that benefits from recurring orders or ongoing support, then you can also offer subscriptions. And if you already offer subscriptions, then how about selling a longer subscription for even more money? Money off the next product. Finally, one of the oldest tricks in the book is to offer money off the next purchase. This is great because it secures the next sale before you even have something to offer. It helps to build loyalty and trust with your audience and gives the buyer flexibility in how they redeem their offer. It's like a loyalty point system. Five ways to boost sales using Instagram stories. Instagram is an extremely powerful tool for marketers and anyone selling a product. The key reason for this is that Instagram is one of the best options for selling the value proposition. The highly visual nature of Instagram makes it perfect for conveying not only information, but also feelings and emotions. You can, in short, use Instagram to make your products look and feel amazing. And this is key to success when it comes to selling. Instagram stories take this one step further by letting you speak with your audience in a more interactive manner. Here are some ways you can use stories to make more sales. Be sparing. The first tip for boosting sales using Instagram stories might come as a surprise. This is to be sparing with your use of them. The danger is that if you try to use stories too frequently and thus end up neutering some of their most powerful properties. Instagram stories have the huge benefit of being promoted specifically by Instagram. They are placed right at the top of the page when you load your home feed, and they even notify users when you post a new one. But that latter feature is only present if you don't post hundreds every 2 minutes. So wait until you really have something to say. Build rapport. Stories are fantastic for building a rapport with your audience and helping them to feel as though they know you and your business. This is huge, seeing as that familiarity builds trust. And when your audience trusts you, they are far more likely to buy from you. Run polls. A great way to generate content and to communicate with your audience with this in mind is to run polls. You can survey your audience, and this way they feel like they are engaging in conversation with you. That engagement translates to increased sales because they are paying your brand more attention. And it also means your audience will build that sense of recognition we discussed. Behind the veil. Stories are a great way to share information that you don't necessarily want to post to your wall. If you have a post that shows you getting up in the morning, for instance, or if you have a post that shows behind the scenes, this can ruin the visual language of your main feed. This is what makes stories so effective, as they are just a short-time insight for your most invested users. Use this as a way to show behind the scenes and let people gain some more understanding of your product, service, and values. Show the value. Finally, make sure that you are using your Instagram stories to really show the value of your product or service. What is it that your product or service offers? How will it benefit people and make their lives better than they were previously? By demonstrating the value, you can make sure that you build that emotion that leads to a sale. Add a link by swiping up, and you'll see your sales skyrocket. Content is king. 5 reasons you need to be producing more content. Content is what makes the web go round. You'll hear this a lot in marketing circles, but that doesn't make it any less true. Think about it. The internet is nothing if not a web of content. It is writing, it is video, and it is sound. All of that is content. If you don't have content, then you can't possibly stand out and stay afloat. You'll be drowned out by the noise. And if it's not enough simply to have content, it needs to be content that has high volume and high value. You need lots of excellent content. Here's why. Brand awareness. Studies show that people will only usually buy on the 7th or 8th exposure to a brand. It's by this point that they recognize the brand and trust it well enough to consider investing money. If you post regular content to your site or to social media, then you create lots of opportunities for people to be exposed to your brand and your message. Each one of those builds up and creates a greater likelihood that they will consider buying from you. SEO. Content is important for SEO. This is something that is overlooked too often. While there are countless strategies for increasing the search traffic that comes to your site, targeting keywords, building links, etc., the single most important and effective strategy is to add lots of content to your site. This is how the biggest and most successful brands on the web succeed. If you have hundreds of new articles on your site every month, you create countless opportunities to win at the SERPs and to bring in long-tail traffic. Eventually, you will succeed through sheer force. Return customers. People will come back to your site regularly if you give them a good reason to do so. If you post the odd article every few months, then people will quickly forget about you. But if there are lots of fascinating new posts every single day, then people might start to read your site each morning, or at least several times a week. Think about the websites that you visit on a regular basis yourself. They are all likely to be sites that provide you with an incentive to keep coming back. Brand loyalty and trust. The other reason to keep posting content is to develop your relationship with your audience and to build trust. Trust is a strange thing in that it very largely comes from familiarity and exposure. Simply seeing more of you ensures that your audience knows you better, likes you more, and feels more comfortable buying from you. This is as simple as posting regularly. Direct sales. Finally, keep in mind that each post can generate direct revenue from ads, or even by selling your products. If you include a reference to your product and a link in each post, they will then generate profit. You are now in a situation where each post pays for itself, meaning that there is no reason not to keep writing more of them. How to get people to talk about your product. There are few better forms of marketing than word of mouth.
6 tweaks
you can make
Think
to your
about the
site
most
to
successful
boost
movies
sales
at the theaters.
What
They're
makes
not
the difference
necessarily
between
the
a
movies
successful
with the
online
biggest
product
marketing
and
budgets,
an unsuccessful
though that
one?
helps.
A lot of
Instead,
presentations will
they
try
the
to tell
movies
you
that
there
have
is
the
a
biggest
one
impact
secret
on the
trick
culture
or some
around
key
them.
strategy.
But the
When a
truth
movie is
is that a
genuinely
successful
exciting,
sales page is the sum of its
and
parts.
different. It
Your
gets
success
attention.
comes from countless
People
small
tell their
design
friends,
decisions
and they tell their
aspects of your
friends.
copywriting,
This is
your
how
marketing,
you get your
audience,
sleeper
the
hits.
pricing,
And the
So how do you
advertising
get people to
campaign.
talk about your online
There is
product?
not one thing you
How
can
do you turn
change,
that
but
into a
rather
sleeper
thousands
hit?
of things.
In this
Some of these
presentation,
things
we're
are
going
very
to
simply
find out
alterations you can make to your page
the
itself.
product itself.
And while these
The
might
first
not turn
and
you
most
into an
important
overnight
point is that the
sensation,
product
they can
itself
certainly
needs
help
to
you
be
to improve
effective
your
in
conversion
driving
rate and
discussion.
increase profits.
This is
So
something
here are
that
6
not
tweaks
many
to consider
internet
making
marketers
right now.
understand. 1.
How many online
Increased
books
load
are there that
times.
sell essentially the
A
same
slow-loading
thing?
site does a few
How
things.
are you going to get someone
First,
to talk about
it
a
makes
book
your
that
site
teaches
seem
you how to
less
make
reliable
money,
and
when
less
that is
professional?
what 500
This
other
can
books
make people
released
less
this month are
comfortable
doing?
about buying from you.
Now consider
Something
secondly,
like the Vivo
it means your
barefoot
audience
shoes.
has to wait longer.
These are the
which
toe
in
shoes
turn
that you
means
might
that
have
they will
seen
very
some people
often
wearing.
leave before your page
These
is done
things
loading.
look so odd that
Speeding
just
up your
wearing them
site,
will
which can
invite
be as simple as
questions,
installing a
comments,
new
and
plugin,
discussion.
can thus help you
And
make a
of
lot
course,
more sales.
there are countless articles
2.
written about them.
Change your font.
This isn't to say that
The font on
everything
your
you sell
site is a
needs
key
to break
factor
the
that
mold and
often
be
goes
completely
overlooked.
new.
Not only
Instead,
does this
you need
contribute to the
make sure
overall
that you
design
find
of your
some
site
angle
and the
that
way it
makes
makes
it
your audience
interesting.
feel, but it
You
also
can sell a
determines
book on
how
making
readable
money,
your content
but try
is.
to find
People
some tip
don't
in there
like squinting.
that is different, and then make that into
3.
the USP.
Remove navigation
Find
elements.
some way to make
If
your
you have a
product
menu on your
noteworthy.
sales page, then you are inviting your
Story.
audience to leave.
They say that
Remove
stories
it.
are SEO for the human brain.
4.
And that couldn't be
Add a
more
video.
true.
Video
love
is
telling and sharing
underutilized when it
stories,
comes to making
so
sales.
much so that this
the goal of a
practice
good
is
video is
ingrained
to
into
help
our
people
very psyche
understand
by
the value
millions
proposition
of
of
years
your
evolution.
site and to understand
If you
what you're
wanted to
offering.
make your product
You can
worthy of
even
discussion,
set this to
then
autoplay.
find a story/narrative
5.
that you can promote.
Use a better image.
That could be the story
One of the
how you
biggest
created
challenges
the product,
of trying to sell
or it could
something
be the story
online
of
is
someone
that
who
your
used
audience
it and
can't
was
hold the
highly
product in
successful.
their hands. That means
Press
they can't
releases.
feel the weight or the
Next,
premium materials.
You need a press release.
Your goal
This
is therefore
outlines
to
news
convey
of your
that through your
product or
sales
service
page
in a
by
way that will
choosing the
hopefully
right
get
image.
news coverage from other websites
If your
or
product
papers.
listing currently
The
has a
key
small
here, though,
grainy
is to
image
use
of
the
what you're
previous 2
selling,
tips.
then you should consider
Too many
changing
businesses
that.
expect press releases
6.
to essentially get
Offer
them
a
free
money-back
coverage
guarantee.
and advertising.
This is a simple
This is
line you
not
can
how
add
it
to your
works.
sales pitch that makes
Journalists
all the difference.
are serving their readers
That's
first,
because it will
and so
help
they
people
will
to
only cover
overcome
your
any sense of
announcement if it is
uncertainty
genuinely
when buying
interesting
from
to
you.
that audience.
They will now
That's
know that
where
if they
having
don't like
something
what they're
genuinely
buying,
new
they can
and
get their
different,
cash back, no
or a
questions
real human
asked.
interest story attached.
The thing to
will make
realize
all
as the
difference.
seller is that very
Failing
few
that,
buyers ever
a
ask for a refund.
well-orchestrated PR
That
stunt
means
can do
there's
the
no
job as
reason
well.
not
Just
to use
think
this
carefully
strategy,
about how you
and
want to
every
present
reason
your
that
brand.
you should.